1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, hello.
With the masters of rock talk and none other than the man sitting next to me who actually knows Alan Alba from MASH personally.
How are you? I do. What a performer, too. What range.
Alan Alba. My mother goes to me the other day. She says,
Alda, not Jessica Alba, Alan Alda.
Yeah, she's like, Alan Alda. She goes, you know who he is? I'm like, yeah, the guy from MASH. She goes, you know he's Italian? Well, yeah, look at him. He's one of us. He's Italian. Of course he's Italian. Oh. So for those of you tuning in, we had just completed a beautiful episode on the legendary Ringo Starr.
We did.
And now we're going to go to another legend that I want to...
Very different,
by the name of Calvin Broadus.
Oh, yes.
You know who that is? Or maybe his reincarnated name as Snoop Lion.
What about the Doggfather?
Or Snoop Dogg. So that is it. That is the man. He goes by Calvin. His mama called him Calvin, so that's his name. But he's Snoop Dogg. Went to Snoop Lion for a wee little bit, and then he went back to Snoop Dogg because I guess everyone said, what are you doing? Seriously.
Yeah, so, you're not as famous as Prince. You can't do that.
Exactly. So, without further ado, here we go.
Okay.
One of the most iconic figures to emerge from the early 90s G-Funk era, Snoop Dogg evolved beyond his gangsta rap beginnings to become a lovable pop culture fixture with forays into television, movies, football, coaching, and yes, even wrestling, WWE, while expanding his musical reach far beyond his primary genre. Also did a small little stint in reggae, and I'll get to that a little later. Like all successful hip-hop artists, he was discovered by and also introduced through Dr. Dre's top 5 rap hit Deep Cover in 1992. Snoop quickly became famous due to his drawled, laconic rhyming, as well as the realistic violence implied in his lyrics. So a lot of you have to understand that back in the 80s and 90s, a lot of the rap was all basically their story being told through their eyes, what the media would always leave out. So that is a very key point in that kind of music, and I've always respected that kind of music because they gave us the truth through music, and they made money off of it.
A lot of money.
So, as everyone knows, Snoop is famous because of his laconic rhyming, and his album Dog Style 1993 became the first debut album to enter the Billboard 200 at
Doggy
number
style.
1. Yes, and featured the top 10 hits What's My Name and Rolling Down the Street Smoking on, Sipping on Gin and Juice, Laid Back, Got My Mind on My Money and My Money on My Mind. As you can tell, I'm a prodigy of the 90s era. I grew up with the real rap from the mid-late 80s to the early 90s. That's when it was real. The stuff today, forget it. His biggest hits as a lead artist during the first decade of the 21st century included Beautiful, 2003, and the chart-topping Drop It Like It's Hot, Drop It Like It's Hot, 2004. And he was also featured on a slew of major hits by fellow rappers, R&B crooners, and pop groups alike. He was nicknamed Snoop by his mother because of his appearance.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Calvin Broadus was raised in Long Beach, California, and as you could tell, he mentions Long Beach quite a bit in quite a few of his songs, where he frequently had trouble with the law. Now, to avoid a life of crime, he found solitude in music. He was good friends with Warren G, who he made some rap tapes with, and so be it. Warren, who also happens to be, the stepbrother of legendary rapper and producer Dr. Dre, a.k.a. Andre Young, which was one part of history already being
I was
written.
going to say, this is the biggest break of his life.
So kind of like Ringo.
Yeah, really, this guy is a tie-in with Dr. Dre. Oh, come on. It
So-
don't come easy.
No, it don't come easy. Laid back.
I'll bet he's laid back.
In 1992, Dre started a solo career with the theme song Deep Cover from the titled movie Deep Cover. He had Snoop rap with him. This escalated to full-fledged mania when Dr. Dre released his first album, The Chronic, and had Snoop rap on it as much as Dre. And the vocals for this album were a huge part of the success. Dre's singles, Nothing But a G Thang and Dr. Dre Day, which prominently featured Snoop, became top 10 pop crossover hits in the spring of 1993.
There you go, another trick.
Yeah, and they're setting the stage for the Snoop's much anticipated debut album, Doggy Style. After many delays, Doggy Style was finally released on Death Row Records in November of 1993, and it became the first debut album to enter the charts at number 1. Despite reviews that claimed the album was a carbon copy of The Chronic, the top 10 singles of What's My Name and Gin and Juice kept Doggy Style at the top of the charts during early 1994, releasing an accompanying soundtrack which debuted at number 1 in also 1994. By that time, Doggy Style had gone quadruple platinum. Talk about some success here, because I'm friends with Warren G, whose stepbrother is
Dr.
Dre. All right. So, 1996 in November, the Doggfather was released, and this one actually was not produced by Dr. Dre. The album was greeted with mixed reviews and initially sold well, but it failed to produce a hit along the lines of What's My Name or Gin and Juice. Perhaps sensing something was wrong, Snoop began to revamp his public image, moving away from his gangster roots towards a calmer, lyrical aesthetic. He also began making gestures towards the rock community, signing up to tour with Lollapalooza in 1997 and talking about 2 separate calibrations with Beck and Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, this is worth a mention at how good, we'll get back to this Snoopster is at just being, like, he's the Paul McCartney of rap. He's just a good entertainer, and he knows when to put the clutch in and get out of the way if something's dying out, right? And that's why he's around today. And a lot of his contemporaries aren't.
And this is what I always like to tell people, is that Snoop has already established what he did in 1983 with his first 2 albums. And then after that, being featured is what you see him on. You know, like,
That's true.
he's always being featured. So this is interesting because by this point, Snoop was already well known. And even though he had released some albums in a span of 18 months, they weren't chart busters like his previous ones. In my honest opinion, the Dogg Pound and Doggfather were solid albums. Snoop was also revered as a featuring kind of guy. Lots of hip-hop, pop, and rock artists have had Snoop featured on their hit songs. And why not? The way he rhymes is just amazing. He is a lyrical genius and is one of those artists that knows how to work the mic, and he definitely knows how to work a crowd, and he knows how to light a blunt. It's just fantastic, okay? In 2009, he issued Malice in Wonderland, the maiden release of New Alliance with the reactivated Priority label, which also signed him on as a creative chairman. He maintained his mainstream image with a star appearance on Katy Perry's California Girls, nabbing Snoop his 3rd number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
If you care about those things.
Yeah, that's right, because we certainly don't. In 2011, he released a Doggumentary, an album he considered the sequel to his classic debut. The record featured production from the likes of Swizz Beatz, DJ Khalil, and Scott Storch, with guest artists including none other than Kanye West, John Legend, Wiz Khalifa, and Ian Willie Nelson.
Oh, because of the dope, probably.
Who knows? But these guys are friends.
Bet you they are. Talk about a common interest.
So, although Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr. was doing more than just fine under his hip-hop moniker Snoop Dogg, a 2012 trip to Jamaica convinced the rapper that reggae was his true calling and that he should assume the Rasanabe Snoop Lion. Granted to Snoop by a Jamaican high priest, the name was first floated during a summer of 2012 press conference introducing the debut Snoop Lion single La La La, which was released on the Burhane Sound System label and produced by Major Lazer. The track would land on Snoop's Lion's debut reggae album, the appropriately titled Reincarnated, which landed in 2013. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the studio with me, I do have the Reincarnated album.
I see it right in your hands right now.
And just to list off some of the songs, we got Rebel Way, Here Comes the King featuring Angela Hunt, Lighters Up featuring Movado and Popcan, So Long featuring Angela Hunt again, Getaway featuring Angela Hunt, No Guns Allowed featuring none other than Drake and Corey B, Fruit Juice featuring Mr. Vegas. He also did Smoke the Weed featuring Collie Buds, Tired of Running featuring Akon, The Good, well, featuring Izza, and Torn Apart featuring Rita Ora, and then the last song on it, Ashtrays and Heartbreaks featuring none other than Destiny Hope Cyrus, which is known as Miley Cyrus. Look at the star-studded audience that he had to help him collaborate them. They're all featuring, and they're all artists that are recognized in their own way.
Cross-pollinate like crazy.
Like you're going with Miley Cyrus, who was basically pop in some country, to Snoop.
I know she's also a massive survivor too, though, right? I mean, she's
great.
She's a mild genius.
Her new album, by the way, is phenomenal. I have it, and it's like killing the charts.
Okay.
Yeah. So, now back to Snoop. 2018, Snoop once again changed course. This time dipping into the gospel world for Snoop Dogg presents Bible of Love.
Come on.
The collection featured guests from both.
Did he do a classical album too?
I think so. I have the list
the
here.
Snooper goes Beethoven?
Yeah. So this collection featured guests from both the gospel and hip-hop worlds, topping the Billboard Gospel Albums chart upon release.
Come on.
A year later, Snoop returned to the streets for his 17th album, I Want to Thank Me, a nostalgic set that celebrated his legacy while asserting his enduring place in contemporary hip-hop. In addition to guests of YG and Slick Rick, the LP also included an appearance by the great late Nate Dogg. 2020, while locked down in quarantine due to the global threat of COVID-19, Snoop released the restless single, I Want to Go Outside, setting his feelings of housebound frustration and concerns for the world's health to a funky old-school instrumental. So, Snoop's got a couple albums, 93, Dog Style, 94, Murder Was the Case, 96, The Doggfather, 1998, The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told, 1999, No Limit to Top Dog, 2000, The Last Meal, 2001, Bones, it's a soundtrack, 2002, Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. I love the way they spell this stuff. 2004, he did RNG, so it's Rhythm and Gangster, The Masterpiece. 2005, Big Snoop Dogg presents Welcome to the Church. They spell church C-H-U-U-C-H, the album.
He's good. He's very good. 2006,
the Blue Carpet Treatment. 2008, Ego Tripping. If my father would see me write this, he'd slap me because it's like misspelt wrong. 2009, Malice in Wonderland. 2010, more Malice. 2011, Ian, your favorite one, Dogumentary.
Oh, how clever that is.
2011, Mac and Devin Go to High School. Music from and inspired by the movie. 2015, Bush. 2016, Kool-Aid. They actually kind of spelled that right. It's like cool and an 8. 2017, Never Left. So N-E-V-A, Left. 2018, Snoop Dogg presents The Bible of Love. I like that, sorry.
You can't shut this guy down.
2019, I Want to Thank Me. 2021, Snoop Dogg presents Algorithm. And then he's got 2022, he did 3 of them. BODR, Death Row Summer 2022, and then Metaverse, the NFT Drop Volume 1 and Volume 2. And that's what I got for Snoop's repertoire. And obviously in 2013, he went a little bit reggae and went with Reincarnated. So this is what I have on Calvin Broadus on my end here, but I know the good doctor has got some other stuff.
I don't have much more. By the way, we should give credits to a lot of the content for this segment does come from allmusic.com.
That's correct. Allmusic.com is the one that is probably the best source, I think, for music knowledge.
I really think, it's excellent. Oh, I don't have much to add besides my respect for this guy as a survivor. For a while, for instance, he teamed up with Martha Stewart. Oh, isn't that great? You got these two very different people
who both went to prison.
Oh, yeah. And they could talk about ankle bracelets. Like, a lot of this stuff is kind of goofy and dumbed down, but it works, right? He's a pro. He knows how to survive. He knows how to retain his dignity, which is rare. He also knows how to smoke hay bales of hemp and still coordinate basic bodily functions. I mean, the guy he's just Starsky and Hutch, right? He had a pretty good role in that. Like, he's just one of these guys that can drift across genres because, hey, like a Ringo, there's nothing to dislike. Everybody likes him. He's not militant. He's not political in that aggressive way, right? He's just he seems like stoned, obviously, a nice, easygoing guy that's gifted. So my kudos to him for that. And that's where I stand with the Snooper, the Doggfather, and may he continue, right?
He's not even that old. He was only born in 1971.
Well, this doesn't make him that young, 71. But anyway,
53.
Yeah. 52, 50. Yeah,
so I didn't think he was that young. I thought he was older.
He looks older.
I know. But he's always been like this, this scrawny little dude with the smirk, the grin. Like, he's just like a jovial guy. Like, I don't think nothing fizzes his guy.
He does. He was on that. What show was it? Was it Coachella where he appeared with the reincarnated Tupac? Did you ever see that?
No.
That was spooky. They did I think it cost $250,000 to 3D Tupac, and he rises out of the stage, and and Snoop walks across the stage, and they begin this duet. It's pretty eerie when you look at it. I think it's on YouTube. It used to be, and that was it. So anyway, thank you, man. Very, very interesting subject.
It is, and Snoop, like, I don't know, he just shows up, and people go crazy, and I'm one of those guys. I've seen him like twice performing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't shown up with us today in the studio.
It would have been nice to see him here.
He'll attend the opening of a letter. He'll do anything.
I know.
So
he should probably run for prime minister, president, something.
I'd vote for him.
Why not? I would too.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So this is it. I'm Kennedy signing off from the Masters of Rock Talk and my colleague,
Dr. Ian Clarke.
We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Good night.